All right, we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my channel. Long time no see or hear. My name is Chris, and I have the 4 comics that I'm going to be sending to PGX to get graded. I do this each and every month. I make my predictions. I tell you what significance of the books there are, and I tell the price that I pay, because I think transparency is always the best way to go. Keep in mind, a lot of these comics I bought years ago, not 10 years ago or anything, but since 2017 and up, I've been buying comics and telling people to get a lot of these key books before they become too expensive. But, you get them when you can. You get them when you can afford them, because it doesn't matter if they were 10 cents 50 years ago. If you weren't born or you didn't have the 10 cents, it doesn't matter. So if you check the description of this video or any of my videos, if you ever want to try PGX, and I highly recommend using them, because each grading company has its good points and its bad points. So it always depends on why you're getting your books graded as to the reason of a company that you use. A couple of things about PGX is they are one of the fastest, where you don't have to spend extra money to get them and wait 5 or 6 months. So you will get them within usually 30 to 45 days, depending on the time of year. They do in-house pressings, dry cleanings. They do in-house signature verification. So if you have a book that's already signed, you could send it to PGX and they will verify the signature. As far as price-wise, they're the cheapest of the 3 major companies. So there's a lot of benefits. I mean, it really depends on the reason why you're getting your books graded. But if you want to use them, check in the description of this video. You will see 2 discount codes. One of them is if you use the code We Love Comics, free press. If you send them 10 books or more to get graded, doesn't matter if they're modern or Silver Age, it doesn't matter, there's no requirement, but if you send 10 or more in, and if you use the code We Love Comics free press, they will press one of them absolutely free. Depending on the book, that could be anywhere from a $20 and up savings. So, hey, $20 in your pocket, that's like 2 gallons of gas these days. So that might be the difference between riding a bike, walking, or actually using your vehicle still. And also, thanks to Daniel Patterson, the owner of PGX, listening to my advice, you can get the grader's notes placed directly on the back of the slab. Now, I love doing that. I do it every single time. The only time it doesn't happen is when I forget to mention it when I send my books in, which, it happens. But I like having the grader's notes on the slab, because for me, it's right there. So especially if you're trying to sell the book, people know without having to guess. A lot of times, companies don't even show any grader's notes at all, even if they are for free. If you want to add the grader's notes to the back of your slabs, it's $5 per book. Use the code We Love Comics, grader's notes, and they will take care of you with that. And again, it's up to you what you want to do with that. I personally like it. I just think it makes the graders have a little bit more accountability, because it's right there for everybody to see. So there's pluses and minuses, again, for each different grading company. I mean, if you're sending in a book where a movie or TV show is coming out in 2 months, and it's going to take you 6 months to a year to get it back, well, it doesn't matter if you could sell it for a higher price, because if you get it back after the movie or TV show is already out, and especially if it did not do well, you're not making the money you thought you would. So keep that in mind when you're picking a grading company. So if you want to use PGX and give them a try, please use those discount codes, save yourself a little money. I don't make any money doing it. It was my way of saying thank you to all my subscribers for tuning in and watching my videos. So let's put the video camera on. 6 people are watching, 2 have already hit the like button, so I always appreciate when you do that. Let's put on the video camera. I'm going to tell you what the books are, the significance of the book, if any, and then I will tell you the price, and then my prediction of what the grade is. Keep in mind, my predictions are based on what I think they're going to be after a pressing and dry cleaning. One of the things I highly recommend, regardless of what company you send your books to get graded, you really should get your books pressed and dry cleaning. It is worth the money. Sometimes even a bump up of half a grade can be the difference, depending on the book. Hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Obviously, if it's a modern book, you're not going to get that difference. But hey, if you spend 20 and a bump in the grade raises at 50, it's a good and smart investment, so I highly recommend it. And like I said, PGX does in-house pressing and dry cleaning, so you don't have to worry about sending a book somewhere else where it could get lost in the mail, damaged in the mail, and then they have to ship it to someone else, and the same process can happen over again. I like the fact I can send it to one company. They do everything, and they do it fairly quickly. Like I said, on average, I get my books back within about 45 days, and I'm not spending extra money for expedited shipping or anything like that. So, like I always tell people, full disclosure, I do not get paid by PGX to do this. What I do get is the 4 books that I send in, I do get graded for free. But like I said, I have the discount codes for you guys, so they win, we win, and I win, so everybody's happy. I give them the little advertisement. That's why, like I said, the link is in the description and those discount codes, so check them out. All right, so enough of that. Let's get the first book. I have several copies of this. This one I bought, it was already out of the bag. I have a few that are bagged issues, but this is Spider-Man #1. This is Ultimate Comics All New Spider-Man. This isn't the first appearance of Miles Morales, which I've been promoting for years, but this is his first solo series, so it's not going to be as valuable as the other, but hey, you can get this one cheaper, and Miles Morales is just going to get more and more popular, and eventually he's going to be in my opinion, hopefully start out in the MCU and not a Sonyverse, but live action is coming eventually, and it's just going to make him more and more popular, because I'm sure they're going to do that character right. So far, with the Spider-Verse movies, both 1 and 2, they did a really good job. That's my opinion. Yours may differ, but this is absolutely a book I would highly recommend to get. Got this a couple years ago. Only paid $22.50 for this. After a pressing and dry cleaning, this should be a 9.8, but I always start out, I think it's going to be about a 9.6 to a 9.8, obviously with white pages. You never know with a pressing, or there might be something that I missed on page 27. You know, one of the biggest things I see all the time when people get their books, before they send them graded, they go like this. They look at the book and they're like, oh, 9.8. Well, you got to look at the back, you got to look at the staples, you got to look at the centerfold, you got to look at the pages, because you never know, there might be writing on page 14 that you didn't look at, and that's going to lower the grade. So if you think it's a 9.8 because you looked at the cover, you don't know how to grade. And I've seen people that have been in the community for years that do stuff like that. They'll get a book back, it'll come back at 9.6. They'll look at the front for about 2 seconds, look on the back, say, how is it not a 9.8? Well, there could be something in the book that you missed. There could be a little bit of a dirt in the inside of one of the staples. It could have been pulled a little bit. That's going to lower the grade. And the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8 is so minuscule. You know, a fingerprint on the back of the book that you didn't notice can take a 9.8 and bring it down to a 9.6. So you got to keep that in mind. So even with the pressing, there are no guarantees. So I'm very comfortable with the fact that I think that's going to be at least a 9.6, most likely a 9.8, but we'll find out when we get it. Next one, I have 2 of these. This is, most people are going to see this and they'll be like, why are you getting this graded? Then you'll understand when I show it to you. This is Spawn #1. I have several copies of this, but what most people don't have is the newsstand variant. This is a, I can't say rare book, but a rarer book, especially in high grade. I only paid $110 for this book, and this has 9.8 potential written all over it. It does need a little pressing because there is a non-color break increase, so pressing will help that, just a very minor one. So I'm going to say between a 9.4 and a 9.8 just to be safe, because again, you don't know. But even if it's a 9.4 or even a 9.6 for a newsstand, definitely going to be worth it. They were talking about a movie for Spawn. Who knows if that's going to happen? And even if it is, you know, hopefully it'll be good. I saw the original Spawn. I like it. Yes, it's a little cheesy, but it was good for its time. Did it age well, especially with the special effects? No. But you know, you have to go by the time that the movie was made. I mean, the original Wizard of Oz was made in the 1930s. It's not going to have the same special effects as today, but it's a great movie. As a matter of fact, it's probably better than probably 90% of the movies that come out today, regardless of the fact that there's better special effects. To me, a story is more important than the special effects. I've seen movies where the special effects are really lacking, but the story was so good, it was forgivable. So I liked the original Spawn. I saw it in the movie theater when it came out. Shows my age, but then again, I saw Star Wars, the original Star Wars, in the movie theater when it came out. I also saw Jaws, Alien, and all those other fun movies. So yeah, that probably explains the gray in my beard. But $110 for this. This is technically the first appearance of Spawn, because there are previews, but a preview does not count as a first appearance. So this book is technically his first appearance, even though there are preview magazines and advertisements, and I have one over there, I'm not even going to pull it out, that has it beforehand, but again, it's just an advertisement for the book, so they don't consider it a first appearance, but it is still collectible. After pressing and dry cleaning, this could potentially be a 9.8, but like I said, I'm going to say about a 9.4 to 9.8, most likely 9.6 to 9.8, but for $110 for a newsstand variant, that high grade, very rare book to get these in higher grade. If you could find one, get it. And that's all I could say about that. All right, next one. I think this is another one's going to end up in a Sony movie. I have several of these books. I was telling people to get these for years. As a matter of fact, I've had people recently ask me, how come I don't make any videos anymore about predictions, about what comics to get. Well, I was so ahead of the curve that books that are still having people talk about today to get, I was talking about back in 2016. When there were people that were laughing at me when I was telling people I had sources. I was predicting stuff back in 2016 and 2017 about Phase 4 and 5 that are still applicable today. So all of the books that are still having their potential, I've already talked about. So I don't want to keep reiterating the same thing. It kind of stinks because most people didn't get the chance to see them. But if you want to see my predictions, watch some of my older videos. You'll see as far back as this channel goes, I've been telling people to get books that still have potential to this day. So to reiterate them just makes no sense. So this is Marvel Spotlight number 32. This is the first appearance and origin of Spider-Woman. Now, Spider-Woman number 1 is another book to get. They redid her origin. They actually give her hair, because in her first appearance, she doesn't have hair, and she kind of shoots lightning bolts, so they changed it a little bit. But this is her first appearance. Definitely a book to get. I have several copies of this book. It does have a color break increase on the corner, not major amounts, but still higher grade. I paid only $33.51 for this book, so it could come back as 6.0 and I will do well. And again, I always tell people I base it not on what the values are now, but what they will be. And there have been rumors about Spider-Woman, and especially these days, they're going to put a lot more female characters into movies. Whether you like it or not, or agree with it or not, this is what Hollywood's going to be pushing. It's an agenda. I've been telling people for years about that, but you can profit off of what you predict is going on based on, their track record. So I think, in my opinion, Spider-Woman is going to end up coming out eventually. Maybe she'll be in the next Spider-Verse movie. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But I think this is a character that will be coming out eventually. I predicted, again, after pressing between an 8.0 and a 9.0. Again, it's just a tiny, less than a quarter-inch little crease in the corner. But it does, I'm sorry, right over here. There's a little bit of an indent. So a pressing will help it, but it does break color. So obviously it's not going to be in the high 9s, but if it gets even a 9.2, I'll be very happy about that. But again, for the price I paid, I'm going to do fine regardless. All right, last but not least, and I want to thank everybody so far, the 15 people that are watching, 6 of you are kind enough to hit the like button. We got 3 people in the chat. This is a book I definitely recommend getting. I've already recommended it a while ago. It's a lower grade, but as I always say, low grade is better than no grade. I think this one will be key, but as soon as it happens in the movies, it's going to be like when Captain America lifted Thor's hammer. This is going to be a book where once you see the situation occur, which I'll tell you about when I show you the book, I think after that the book's going to drop. So your best bet is to get it now. Once you, if you see it, because there is no guarantee, if you see the situation happen, you'll see the price spike. That's the best time to sell it, because I really think after this happens, if it does, it's probably just going to drop from there. So you don't want to be holding on to it. But this is a book to get for now. This is X-Men number 9. It's still an early X-Men, so you can't go wrong. It is a lower grade, but I only paid $105.39. This is the first time, unless I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first time it's the Avengers versus the X-Men. So I believe this is the first X-Men Avengers crossover. You know, one of the books that I've been telling people, and I've been getting a bunch graded, were the Avengers versus X-Men comics. This one got a 9.6. I think it's got like 5 or 6 signatures on it. But I think with the X-Men coming to the MCU, you may just see a battle between the X-Men and the Avengers. If that does happen, this book is going to be very desirable. But again, like Captain America lifting Thor's hammer, if they do it, I think once it's done, that book's going to plummet. But again, because it's an older X-Men, I mean, the first 10 issues of X-Men, you know, there's a few of them that are valuable. You can't go wrong with that. But I think it will decrease. But that's just my opinion. It does have a subscription crease down the middle. So the absolute highest, if everything was perfect, because it does break color, the best it could get is a 5.0, but it's not going to get that because it does have some damage along the staples. The staples are dirty. So this is about, I'm going to predict about a 3.0 to a 4.0, and 4.0 might be pushing it, but it depends on what the dry cleaning and pressing can do. I mean, the staples are still attached, but this book, you could see, it has been read and it has been loved. So I kind of like that stuff. But for $105.39, I think I will make out on that. So we'll see what happens. But this is definitely a book to get. And we'll see in about a month and a half. So those are the 4 books. X-Men number 9. First time the Avengers and the X-Men square off. Marvel Spotlight number 32. That is the first appearance and origin of Spider-Woman. We got Spawn number 1. This is the newsstand variant. Definitely one to get, especially in higher grade. And last but not least, this is Ultimate Comics All New Spider-Man number 1. It does originally come in a white poly bag, but this one I bought already out of the bag. But like I said, I paid $22.50. So I'm not worried about that, even if it comes back a 9.4. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Since we only have 4 people in the live chat, we're going to pick all 4 of them for today's surprise subscriber shout-out. So Anthony Butler, Gotham City Comics, Raul E., and Rand 4. You guys are today's surprise subscriber shout-out. Raul says, "Hi, Chris. I've seen your channel since 2018. May I ask why you don't do more unboxings or recommendations about books to buy?" I hope you heard what I said before. Basically, the books, all the books I've recommended, I was recommending them years before most people even caught on to them. I mean, I was telling people to buy Ultimate Fallout 4, Edge of Spider-Verse 2, and other books like that in 2016, 2017. I had information about characters that still have not reached the movies yet, back in those days. So I've already done them. So for me to make videos just to make videos is not doing this channel justice. As far as unboxings, I got dozens of boxes I haven't unboxed. To be perfectly honest, I just haven't been into it. I haven't been able to buy any I've bought 2 comics this whole year. I've had a lot of financial situations, which I don't want to burden people with. But as far as motivation, it's been very challenging this year. I hope I can turn it around. You know, I am not in financial trouble or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. I'll see what I can do, and I'm sorry about that. But it's also not very motivating when you make a video and 13 to 40 people watch. You know, there were times I would have live shows back in the days. I'd have 1,000 people watching a live show as it was streaming. And unfortunately, there were some people who backstabbed me that kind of took the love out of it for me. And then the channel just slowly started decreasing to the point where it's just a shadow of what it once was. It's just hard to get motivated. And the same thing with my other channel. That one's been shadow banned for the past 6 years. And even with my other channel has 46,000 subscribers. And I'm lucky to get 400 views. Because they've ghost banned me and shadow banned me because of the topics that I speak about. So it's kind of unmotivating, especially, you know, the advertisements used to help me pay bills and stuff. I get probably $6 a month now in the ad revenue. So, it is what it is, and, I'm sorry to those that are my regular watchers, but I'm never going to give up on this, but it's just been challenging to say the least. But as they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, so, eventually it has to turn around, and maybe we'll bring it back to something to its glory. But as far as comic books to predict, like I said, I was just so ahead of the curve that I was talking about books that most people are talking about now. I was talking about 3, 4, 5 years ago. So I would highly recommend watching some of my old videos so you could see books that are still worth getting now that I already made videos about. And I just don't want to repeat the same thing over and over again. And hopefully you'll understand. Alright, so those are the 4 books. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't used PGX, give them a shot. And use the code WeLoveComics Free Press if you send 10 books or more with them, because you'll get one of them pressed for free. That'll save you some money. And these days, any amount of savings of money and having money in your pocket, not somebody else's, to me, I think that's a beautiful thing. So thanks for watching. Thanks for participating. I appreciate those that hit the like button. I don't get many comments anymore, but I do read every single one of them. So thank you to the very few that do that. And the loyalty is just very kind of you. So thank you so much. Yeah, holy beard. Yeah, I just letting it grow, letting my hair grow and everything too. It just is what it is. Raw Pool says, thanks for answering. Maybe a lot of people that watched your videos years ago were just speculators and not... Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Because the people, when I used to do live shows, I had many people just use me for my auctions and use me for my thing. And it kind of hurts when you think people are your friends and they backstab you and then make you out to be the bad guy. And when you defended yourself, you looked like the bad guy. And I had another larger YouTube channel that ruined my channel by making accusations that were totally false and waited about 2 or 3 weeks before they made a rebuttal, which was a 2-second thing. But the damage was already done. A lot of people left because, and I'm not going to say who it is because I'm not into fighting anymore. I'm just not the person I used to be years ago. Everything happens for a reason. But yeah, when that large channel made an accusation about me getting paid by PGX and that I was supposedly lying, it destroyed my channel. I lost like almost half my viewership within a week because of that person. And that was the icing on the cake. But, we'll see what happens. It's been a struggle, but what are you going to do? And I don't want to focus on this because honestly, most people really don't care. And I don't blame them. I don't want to hear somebody else's YouTube sob story either. So I'm just doing it because you asked the question. But who knows? If I find a book that I think is worth it that I haven't talked about, or if I get more inside information about future stuff, I'll be more than happy to share it with you. But I've already talked about 99% of the books that are still out there. I talked about already, and I just don't want to regurgitate the same thing just to make a video. So we'll see what happens, but thank you for those that were interested and those small amount of people that still watch. I really appreciate you. I'm sorry if I seem like a Debbie Downer. Just things have been challenging. So thank you so much. Let me know what you think about the comics that I'm sending in. Let me know if you've ever tried PGX or you'd like to. And if you do, go use the discount code. Like I said, I don't get a percentage of it. I don't make any money off of it at all. That was just me doing that as a way for you guys to get something out of this. So it's not just about me, because I care about more than myself, and that's why I called this channel We Love Comics, because like the slogan always said, it's not about you, it's not about I, it's We Love Comics. And shows I just screwed up my own thing because it's been a while. Alright guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.